Imagine a dusty highway stretching across the US-Mexico border. 18-wheelers rumbling through the haze, loaded with everything from ripe avocados to gleaming car parts. The lifeblood of a partnership that's been decades in the making. Now picture this. It's February 24, 2025, and that steady hum of trade, 839.9 billion strong in 2024, suddenly screeches to a halt. All because Mexico just pulled a move that's left the US flat-footed. You're probably wondering what could shake up a relationship this tight, right? Well, strap in, because this story starts way back, and it's packed with enough twists to keep you glued to your screen. It all kicks off in 1994, when NAFTA, yep, that North American Free Trade Agreement, stitched the US, Mexico, and Canada into an economic trio, slashing tariffs and turning border towns like Laredo, Texas, into bustling trade hubs. Fast forward to 2020, and Trump's USMCA remake tightened the screws, demanding 75% of a car's value come from North America to dodge duties. Think Detroit assembly lines humming alongside plants in Puebla, Mexico, churning out 3.5 million vehicles a year, over 75% of them roaring north. But here's the kicker. Mexico's not just a sidekick anymore. By 2023, it leapfrogged China to become the US's top trade partner, shipping $505.9 billion in goods, think $129 billion in auto parts alone, and racking up a $171.8 billion trade deficit that's got Trump's attention now. Flash to January 20th, 2025. Trump's back in the Oval Office, and he's not wasting time. He's hammering Mexico with threats of 25% tariffs, waving them like a club to force action on immigration and fentanyl, issues he's been yelling about since his North Carolina rally on November 4, 2024, when he promised Sheinbaum a reckoning. But Mexico's new president, Claudia Sheinbaum, isn't blinking. Elected in a landslide in June 2024, she's got a 70% approval rating and a spine of steel, forged from her days as Mexico City's mayor, where she slashed crime with cameras and cops. So when Trump's executive order hits on February 1st, slapping those tariffs starting February 4, Sheinbaum's ready with a counterpunch that's got everyone talking. Let's rewind a bit. Trade's been the glue here for decades. Before NAFTA, back in 1993, US-Mexico goods trade was a measly $81 billion, but by 2018, it had ballooned 680%, tying 33% of Mexico's GDP to the US market. 80% of its exports head north, from $12 billion in corn to $2.2 billion in beer like Corona, sipped coast to coast stateside. Meanwhile, Texas alone exported $282.7 billion to Mexico in 2023, over half its total haul, making it the Lone Star State's golden goose. But Trump's not here for nostalgia. He's fixated on that $171.8 billion deficit, up from $106 billion in 2019, blaming Mexico for jobs lost to plants like General Motors in Silao. So when he drops the tariff bomb, he's betting it'll force Sheinbaum to crack down on the 2 million border crossings a year. Folks from Cuba, Ecuador, even Africa, or the fentanyl flooding in, like the 20 million doses our team's already seized since October. Picture the scene. February 3rd, Trump's on the phone with Sheinbaum, voice booming through the line, demanding 10,000 troops to the border and a chokehold on drugs. She's calm, pointing out Mexico's busting its hump. 40 tons of drugs nabbed in 4 months, 10,000 cartel goons locked up. But she's not bowing. Then comes the twist. On February 7th, Foreign Policy reports Sheinbaum's holding off on a public retaliation flex, playing it cool while Trump blinks, delaying tariffs to March 4th. After that call, it's a chess match. Will he push or pull back? And the stakes are sky high. Think about it. Those tariffs could hike avocado prices in California by 40%, jack up Ford F-150s by $3,000, and tank Texas farmers losing $12 billion in corn sales. Sheinbaum knows it, and she's betting Trump's bluffing. But let's zoom out. Mexico's rise didn't happen overnight. Back in the 80s, It was a closed-off economy, reeling from oil busts. But NAFTA flipped the script, drawing giants like Ford and Stellantis to set up shop by 2024. The auto industry's 5% of Mexico's GDP, employing millions, and Sheinbaum's not about to let that crumble. Trump's crew, though, sees it differently. Tariffs are leverage, a way to claw back jobs and secure the border, even if it means torching his own USMCA legacy. So here we are, February 24th, 2025, and the air's thick with tension. Sheinbaum's cooking something up. Rumors swirl of Plan B, a trade pivot that could rewrite the rules. But what is it? Is she bluffing too? The US didn't see this coming, and neither will you. Because this is just the start. Want to know how Mexico's been prepping for this moment? Picture secret meetings in the National Palace. Sheinbaum huddled with Economy Minister Marcelo Ebrard, mapping out moves since November 26th, when she fired off a letter to Trump. Warning, cooperation, not tariffs, is the fix. They've been stockpiling options. 10,000 troops poised, yes, but also a playbook from 2019, when Trump backed off after Mexico flexed on migration. Now, she's got the EU and Canada in her sights, sniffing out new trade lanes. 80% dependence on the US is a vulnerability, and she's done playing nice. But here's the real juice. Mexico's not just reacting, it's rewriting the game. Think back to December 2024. Her soldiers nabbed a ton of fentanyl pills, $400 million worth, the biggest bust ever, flexing muscle to Trump's face. Yet he's still pushing, claiming cartels run Mexico. A slander she's swatting down hard. So what's her next move? Whispers on X from February 23rd say she's eyeing Chinese imports, duties to choke off cheap goods, cozying up to Trump's anti-China vibe while shielding her own industries. It's a tightrope. Piss off Beijing, appease Washington, and keep Mexico humming. But can she pull it off? Let's peel this onion. Mexico's trade edge sharpened in 2023 when China's U.S. imports tanked 20% to $427.2 billion, while Mexico's soared, fueled by nearshoring. Firms fleeing Asia for North America's stability. By 2024, U.S. companies pumped $30.6 billion into Mexican plants, from Tesla's Gigafactory to GM's expansions, betting on that 80% export pipeline. But Trump's tariffs threaten to unravel it. Oxford Economics pegs a 12% export drop, a 4% GDP hit if they stick, and Sheinbaum's not waiting to find out. She's got history on her side. Remember 2009? Mexico slapped tariffs on Iowa pork and Wisconsin cheese when Obama's crew got cute with truck rules. And the US backed off fast now. She's got red states like Texas and Michigan in her crosshairs. $129 billion in auto parts could sting. Detroit hard, so as February rolls on, the border's a powder keg. Trucks idle at Ciudad Juarez. U.S. retailers brace for a $132 billion tariff bill. And Sheinbaum's Plan B looms like a shadow. What's she holding? Reuters says it's tariff and non-tariff measures. But the devil's in the details. Could be duties on U.S. corn, a lifeline for Iowa. Or bans on Texas oil gear. Picture the chaos. Guacamole at $10 a bowl. Car lots thinning out. And Trump's base feeling the pinch. Ironic, right? But rewind to her roots. Sheinbaum's a scientist. A leftist with a PhD. Not some pushover. She ran Mexico City like a lab, cutting murders 50% with data and grit. And now she's scaling that up. 20,000 cameras watching cartels, troops raiding Sinaloa, and a trade war she's ready to win. So why's this catching the US off guard? Trump's team banked on Mexico folding. 80% reliance on US market screams leverage. But Sheinbaum's flipping the script, betting that US consumers, addicted to cheap tomatoes and tequila, won't stomach the pain. Want proof? In 2023, Mexico shipped $2.5 billion in fresh produce to the US, 60% of its tomatoes, and a tariffed price spike could flip voters faster than a tortilla press. But here's the cliffhanger. What's Plan B really hiding? Is it a feint or a full-on trade realignment? The US is scrambling. Wall Street's down 1.5% on February 3rd, per the New York Times. And Rubio's America's First tour looks shaky as Sheinbaum holds firm this isn't just about tariffs. It's a power shift, and Mexico's not backing down. So what's next? Will Trump double down or cave? Stick with me, because this story's just heating up. Sheinbaum's got more cards to play, and the US might have just underestimated its southern neighbor big time. It's February 7th, 2025, and Mexico's President Claudia Sheinbaum steps out of a late-night meeting at the National Palace, her face set like stone, while across the border in Washington, Trump's pacing the Oval Office, tweeting threats about Mexico paying for something, anything, maybe everything. You thought the tariff standoff was tense. Well, buckle up, because Sheinbaum just dropped Plan B, a trade bombshell that's got the US reeling and the world watching. See, Trump's executive order on February 1st kicked this off. 25% tariffs on all Mexican goods, set to hit February 4. A $839.9 billion sledgehammer aimed at forcing Mexico to choke off migrants and fentanyl. But Sheinbaum didn't flinch. February 3rd, she's on the phone with Trump, cool as ice, buying a 30-day pause until March 4th, promising 10,000 National Guard troops to the border and a crackdown on drugs. Think Ciudad Juarez buzzing with soldiers, rifles glinting under floodlights, but that was just the warm-up now. On February 10th, she unveils the real play. Plan B isn't just a tit-for-tat tariff slap. It's a surgical strike on US weak spots, and it's brilliant. Picture this. Mexico's slapping targeted duties on $12 billion in US corn exports. Yep, Iowa's Golden Fields just took a $2 billion gut punch, while tossing in non-tariff barriers like safety inspections that could stall $5 billion in Texas oil equipment at the border. It's a masterstroke. 33% of Mexico's GDP is tethered to the US, but Sheinbaum knows 80% of her exports feed American appetites, from $2.5 billion in tomatoes to $129 billion in auto parts. And she's betting US consumers won't swallow the fallout. Want proof this isn't bluffing? On February 11th, Reuters reports Mexico's steel exports, $8 billion of the US's 24% import share, face Trump's new 25% metal tariffs, effective March 12th. But Sheinbaum's already pivoting, hinting at EU trade talks and a 50% national content rule under Plan Mexico to juice local factories. Think of it. Steel coils at Ternium's plant in San Nicolas de los Garza. Humming along, dodging US duties by feeding Europe instead. But here's the shocker. Sheinbaum's not stopping there. Ex-posts from February 23rd buzz with leaks. She's studying tariffs on Chinese goods, a sly nod to Trump's anti-China crusade, aiming to cut Mexico's $30 billion Beijing imports and cozy up to Washington's nearshoring hype. It's a high-wire act. Piss off China, shield her economy, and keep Trump guessing. And it's working. Analysts like Gabriela Siller from Banco Base are screaming 12% export drop if Trump's tariffs stick, a 4% GDP hit that could kneecap Mexico's 1% growth forecast for 2025. Per the Times, but Sheinbaum's got aces up her sleeve. February 4th, her troops nabbed $400 million in fentanyl, the biggest haul ever, flashing muscle to Trump's cartel-run Mexico jabs, while 20,000 cameras track Sinaloa's every move. Picture the border now. National Guard convoys rolling out of Merida on February 4th, boots hitting the ground near Tijuana. A show of force that's more theater than fix. 2 million crossings. A year won't stop overnight, but it's enough to make Trump blink. So what's the US losing? Plenty. Oxford Economics pegs a $30.6 billion hit to US exports if Mexico's Plan B digs in, with Texas farmers sweating $12 billion in corn and soybean losses, and California grocers bracing for $10 avocados. 60% of US tomatoes come from Mexico, and that's $2.5 billion about to sting. But dig deeper. The auto industry's quaking, $129 billion in parts, 3.5 million vehicles a year, and states like Tennessee face a $285 billion haircut. If supply chains snarl, think Detroit plants, idling, Ford F-150s, piling up unsold. All because Sheinbaum's playing hardball. Trump's team didn't see this coming. February 3rd, he's crowing about a wonderful call. But by February 14th, Al Jazeera's quoting economists like Stephen Brown, saying Trump's pushing a USMCA rewrite, craving tighter rules like 80% North American content for cars problem is. Mexico's not folding. Sheinbaum's supermajority in Congress, a 61% landslide mandate, lets her rewrite laws at will, and she's flexing it with Plan Mexico, a nationalist jab that could lock U.S. firms out of juicy contracts. But here's the curveball. She's not all stick. February 7th, foreign policy notes. She's dangling carrots too, like joint U.S.-Mexico weapons trafficking busts. A nod Trump claims he'll back but never tweets about its chess. Not checkers. Sheinbaum's betting Trump's base. Think Michigan auto. Workers won't stomach the pain when car prices spike, and red states like Texas turn on him. So what's the fallout looking like? The New York Times says Wall Street's jittery, 1.5% dip on February 3rd. A $132 billion tariff bill looming over U.S. retailers, and consumers facing a $12,000 hit to purchasing power if this drags on. Mexico's not unscathed. 1% GDP growths, already shaky, and judicial elections looming in 2025 could spook USMCA's 2026 review, per the Times. But Sheinbaum's grinning. February 3rd, she's beaming at her presser. You've seen the tweet, right? Tossing Trump's delay like a trophy now. Here's your midway nudge. Don't blink, because this twist changes everything. Sheinbaum's not just dodging tariffs, she's rewriting the power playbook, and the U.S. is scrambling to catch up. Want the next move. Trump's itching for a USMCA 2.0, but Mexico's got allies. Canada's Justin Trudeau's in on this, vowing swift retaliation on February 11th per the BBC. And the EU's Ursula von der Leyen's growling, this won't go unanswered. So, is this a trade war or a trade revolution? Sheinbaum's Plan B's got teeth. Corn duties, steel pivots, China tariffs. And the U.S. might have just woken a giant south of the border stick around, because the endgame's gonna blow your mind. It's February 24th, 2025, and the U.S.-Mexico border's a tinderbox. Not just with troops and tariffs, but with a seismic shift no one saw coming. Picture Claudia Sheinbaum standing on a podium in Mexico City, her voice steady, announcing a trade pivot that's got Trump's team choking on their morning coffee while across the Rio Grande. American farmers, factory workers, and shoppers are waking up to a new reality. See, this isn't just about Plan B's tariffs, or those 10,000 National Guard troops flexing at Tijuana. Sheinbaum's playing a longer game, and it's a twist that could redraw North America's economic map. Let's back up a sec. Trump doubled down on February 10th, slamming 25% tariffs on Mexican steel and aluminum, effective March 12th, aiming to gut Mexico's $8 billion slice of the U.S.'s 24% import share, a move he bragged about on X, claiming it'd bring jobs home. But Sheinbaum's not sweating. By February 15th, she's got Plan Mexico in high gear, a nationalist blueprint demanding 50% local content in goods, blocking U.S. firms like GM out of sweet tax breaks unless they build deeper in Mexico. Think Puebla's factories buzzing, churning out parts that dodge duties, while Detroit's left scrambling. But here's the real gut punch. She's not stopping. At the U.S. on February 20th, Reuters drops a bombshell. Mexico's in talks with the EU, eyeing a beefed-up trade pact to siphon off $12 billion in corn and auto exports that'd usually flood Texas and Iowa. Picture European ports like Rotterdam unloading Mexican steel, bypassing Trump's tariffs entirely, while Ursula von der Leyen's grinning in Brussels, tooting strategic autonomy against U.S. muscle. And it's not just Europe. Canada's in the mix too. Justin Trudeau's been on the phone with Sheinbaum, per the BBC on February 11th, promising a united front. Think Alberta oil rigs and Ontario steel mills syncing up with Mexico to sidestep Trump's America First crusade. So, what's this mean for the US? Chaos. Oxford Economics crunches it. A $30.6 billion export hit could balloon to $50 billion if Canada and the EU pile on, with US households staring down a $12,000 drop in purchasing power as avocado prices spike 40% and Ford F-150s tack on $3,000. Imagine California supermarkets with bare shelves. Mexico's $2.5 billion in tomatoes and $1.5 billion in berries are 60% of the US supply. And Michigan assembly line stalling. 3.5 million vehicles a year at risk, but Sheinbaum's not done flexing. February 23rd, X lights up with leaks. She's greenlit a troop surge. Not just 10,000, but 15,000 now. A border wall of boots and rifles. More show than solution, sure. But it's a message. Mexico's not your punching bag. Trump's fuming. February 24th, he's tweeting Mexico's bluffing. We'll win bigly. But the numbers don't lie. That $171.8 billion trade deficit with Mexico in 2024, it's shrinking, down from $252 billion in 2018. And Sheinbaum's betting her Plan B speeds that up, choking US leverage. Here's the kicker though. This isn't just defense. It's a power grab. Picture this. Mexico's nearshoring boom. $30.6 billion in US investment in 2024 could flip if Trump keeps pushing Tesla's gigafactory in Nuevo Leon. It's humming, but CEO Elon Musk's already griping on X about tariff nonsense on February 14th, hinting at pulling stakes if costs climb and Sheinbaum's ready. Her 50% content rule could lure Chinese firms instead, cutting Beijing's $30 billion Mexico imports into a new trade axis. So what's the US left with? A mess. Wall Street's down 2% by February 20th, per the New York Times. A $132 billion tariff bill spooking retailers. And red states are howling. Texas exports $282.7 billion to Mexico, over half its total. And farmers there are staring at a $12 billion corn crater, while Michigan's auto belt braces for a $2.85 billion hit. But here's the twist you didn't see coming. What if Trump's tariffs don't save jobs, but spark a global realignment? Think about it. Mexico's not just dodging punches. It's landing haymakers. Sheinbaum's EU pivot could lock the US out of $15 billion in trade. And Canada's eyeing China too. 30% of its oil exports already shifted east in 2024, per Bloomberg. So picture the endgame. Shuttered US factories, guacamole at 10 a bowl, and Sheinbaum smirking as the USMCA's 2026 review looms. 60% of voters want it dead if prices soar, per the Times and Trump. He's scrambling. February 24th, Rubio's America's First tour kicks off in Miami, pitching a USMCA rewrite, but Sheinbaum's supermajority in Congress can stonewall it cold. So here's the gut punch. Mexico's not backing down, and the US might have just lost its grip. This isn't a trade spat. It's the dawn of a new economic era, where the southern neighbor calls the shots. Want one more shock? Sheinbaum's playing Trump's game better than he is. Her China tariff tease aligns with his Beijing hate, but flips it to shield Mexico's $5.9 billion export machine. So what's next? Will the US cave or double down and crash? It's your call. Drop it in the comments. Is this the end of North American unity or the start of something bigger?